So it's been a while since I've done one of these. I thought that was a bug, not a bug. We're good. I think maybe it's a good one, we'll see. 3 reasons why you're bloated on a raw food diet. This is from April 13th, 2012. Oh, for those who don't know, I used to follow a raw food diet, a fruitarian diet, 80-10-10, whatever you want to call it, where you eat lots and lots of fruit, very little fat, nuts and seeds, no oils, anything like that. So only whole fats and a very small amount, like half of an avocado a day, some greens, leafy greens. And that's your diet. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. What is that necklace? What am I wearing? What is that? It looks like it might be cool, but the video quality is so poor and I'm so far away from the camera, I have no idea what that is. I don't remember that necklace at all.
This question fairly often from people wondering why they feel so bloated after a meal of fruit, even if it's a small meal. And so I want to talk about that now.
I'm so serious. I seem so sad and serious. So I want to talk about that now. Let's get down to business. Where's the joy? Where's the fun?
First and foremost is that you're new to a raw food diet. If you're new to raw, you're going to have to give it a little bit of time because you're not used to eating so much volume.
That is true. And it's true not just if you're going from cooked food to raw food, but also if you're going from omnivore to vegan. A lot of people have bloating and gas issues, particularly if you are trying to follow a very, very bean and vegetable sort of vegan diet. Then yeah, you're probably going to have some issues potentially for a while. I have a video on dealing with gas and bloating and stuff when transitioning to vegan you can check out if you're interested. But yeah, certainly if you're going from eating smaller meals with less fiber and then you're going to these huge, 6 mangoes in a meal or an entire head of romaine with a bunch of other vegetables for a meal, which were actual meals that I would eat, yeah, you're probably going to struggle for a period of time. Even if you're vegan, even if you're already eating a decent amount of fiber, which you probably are if you're eating a vegan diet, eating vegetables and grains and beans and whatnot, yeah, you're probably still gonna struggle. And it might be forever because it's just a lot of food, particularly if you are eating this type of raw food diet where you are eating so much fruit. If you're eating lots of fats, then you can significantly reduce the amount of food that you're eating, right? Because they're so calorically dense if you're eating lots of nuts and olive oil and stuff like that. But if you're eating just fruit and vegetables and a tiny bit of fat, you might have bloating and gas forever. As long as you do the diet, which probably won't be that long because, as I said, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. My digestion was really, really good. I will say that, being totally honest. It was really good when I was just eating fruit, minimal greens, so no more than like a salad at night. I mean, a big salad, but it's minimal when you're raw because you are relying on those greens for minerals, right? I needed more, even more than I was eating, and I wasn't eating the super dark leafy greens, kale and stuff like that a lot because I didn't really like them, or broccoli, because eating raw broccoli, even for me, is, it was pretty rough. So I was eating like romaine most of the time, which is decent, but again, when you're just not getting zinc and iron you're barely getting any from any of the other foods I was eating, you really gotta rely on those greens and eat a lot of them. So yeah, eating fruit all day and having a salad at night was pretty good. I had pretty good digestion. It didn't become a problem until I started increasing the calories following the freely stuff, the 30 bananas a day stuff. This was pre-Raw Till 4 when she still thought, cooked food was poison, right? So yeah, it was all about getting in the bananas. I mean, she's still about getting in the bananas, but like no potatoes or anything, right? Yeah, I was eating 2,500 to 3,000, I think more than that on some days, every single day. And that's when my digestion really started to suffer. Not so much painful. Maybe it was. It's been a long time, but I don't really remember so much painful gas, just like noises constantly and like those embarrassing. My mom used to call them inside farts, which is that's just like what they kind of are, and that's what they sound like, just these embarrassing little inside farts, and I would just get them all the time, and yeah, man, sucked. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's find out these tips.
Number 2 is that you're eating too much. Now this could be too much overall or too much at a meal. So if you're eating too much overall, you're eating just too much fruit, then cut it back, obviously. If you're eating too much at a meal, this is also a problem, even if you're not eating enough calories.
Yeah, I think... Am I talking to babies? Hopefully not. I don't think I was recommending this to literal children. I also want to say, I think there's a difference between feeling really full, like, I don't know, at least for me, I can tell the difference when I have eaten just too much food and my stomach is literally too full of food, which would happen on this diet fairly frequently, right? Unsurprisingly. But it even happens now sometimes. Sometimes I'll just, I made a certain amount of food and it's like I'm full, but like I can eat those last few bites, right? And then it's just like, oh, that feeling, that horrible feeling. I do that with soup all the time because it's like, there's no calories in this. This is like nothing. I need to eat all of this. Otherwise I'm still going to be hungry. But like, you eat all of it and it's, oh my God, there's just so much liquid in my stomach. So we're like 30 minutes, it's just physically uncomfortable. So there's that. And then there's just painful gas. And I think that's mostly what people are talking about when they're talking about bloating. And that can happen that doesn't usually happen from eating just too much food in terms of volume. For a lot of us, it's beans, right? I mean, even for me, if I eat a lot of beans at one meal, I'm probably going to have some gas. If I eat a lot of beans and broccoli, yeah, pretty much guaranteed.
Say you require 2,000 calories and you're only eating 1,000 calories of fruit a day, having just one big meal of 1,000 calories of some kind of fruit, probably going to feel bloated on that amount of food in just one meal, even close to enough calories for the day to maintain a healthy weight.
Are my current videos like this? Please be honest. I know I make long videos and sometimes I ramble, but like, they're better than this, right? Maybe? Shit.
The third one is eating too fast. This is one that I'm guilty of.
That's it? Those are the 3 reasons? What?
But just take your time and chew your food properly and pay attention to your food. I find for me it makes a difference if when I'm eating, I'm just eating. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not watching TV or playing a game or reading or messing on my phone even.
Let me guess. You don't have kids, do you? Man, when I'm eating, 100% of the time, I am doing something else. I'm talking to my kids, getting my kids food while I'm eating, or just like, everybody leave me alone. I just want to like watch this video with my headphones for like 5 minutes and eat. Just have like 5 minutes of quiet time to myself. Yeah, no, I don't really have the luxury of just sitting and just enjoying my food. Sounds nice though. And I have to say, I know I tried to do that. Like I remember, trying to do that. But even like when I ate this way and I was all into that stuff, I usually didn't. Like I remember eating mangoes. I always say mangoes because like I genuinely love mangoes. But yeah, having like, peak summer, the Ital mangoes, having a bunch of those for lunch and playing the Okami on the DS version, the follow-up. That was like, okay. But yeah, I remember playing that while I was eating lunch. So like, follow your own rules. Does it do as I say, not as I do? Yeah.
These tips are assuming that you're eating a low-fat, high-fruit, raw vegan diet. But of course, if you're eating too much fat, this could be contributing to your bloating, or if you have gas as well. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video.
I feel like most of these I've watched on here, I've been pretty like high energy, like higher energy than I am now, but that seemed like really, I don't know, was I trying to be super serious? Talking about farts, gotta keep it serious. So don't eat too much in a meal. Don't eat too fast, which yeah, that's true. You take in a lot of air, which I do that. I still do it. I don't know how to not do it. And then what was the first one? The amount of food and transitioning from a cooked food diet to a raw food diet. And those are the 3 reasons why you would get bloating on a raw food diet after a meal of fruit, as I said. I don't think that's so much the issue on raw for a lot of people. I think, because fruit is fairly easily digested. I think the issue is with all of the the harder to digest vegetables. And again, all the best ones in terms of nutrients, broccoli, kale, like they're kind of rough to eat raw, at least in enough quantities for them to be useful on a raw food diet, right? On a normal diet, you're getting minerals from elsewhere, which is a normal vegan diet, but on a raw food diet, you're just really not. That's really the problem, I think, for people trying to do that diet. If they're trying to do it properly without increasing the fat, without eating more nuts and stuff, which can help to some degree, they're better sources of certain minerals, then yeah, they're really going to struggle trying to eat all of that vegetable matter without just making smoothies all the time, which, you know, enjoy that. Silly thing to talk about because it's not necessary. Don't do it. Eat cooked food. It's delicious and it's good for you, right? They're both important. Raw foods and cooked foods are both important, and it doesn't matter the percentage. There's no evidence for that whatsoever. Just get in your produce, you know? And I'll say, you know, with the vegan diet, you have more leeway because there's certainly people who just can't do the kind of whole foods, plant-based way of doing vegan where almost everything that you're eating is whole food. So you are eating more volume and you are eating more fiber. There are some people who just cannot do that. Even, you know, they not necessarily people who have IBS or anything like that, just general people with fairly normal digestion, you just end up with gas and bloating. I've heard from people after months, it just hasn't gone away and they're still struggling with it. Or maybe they don't have any pain, but it's just like, there's just lots of farts and it's smelly and you don't want to deal with that anymore. I totally get that. Unlike with a raw food diet where you're very limited, you can't really change the diet a whole lot. So if you're struggling with that, you just gotta kind of deal with it or switch the diet, you know, dramatically change the diet. But with a vegan diet, you have a lot more leeway because there's so many more foods you can eat. So if you're struggling eating a whole lot of vegetables and beans and whatnot, you can cut those down and replace them with, you know, mock meats, right? I think that's a pretty easy one to do. If beans are bothering you, then eat more mock meats and try to figure out, you know, which vegetables, right? So usually it's going to be broccoli, kale, stuff like that are really bothering you, and switch them out for another vegetable. And if you do have IBS, there are still options. I have a whole video on that if you're interested. Obviously, that's going to be way more limited in terms of doing an elimination diet and trying to figure out your triggers and all that kind of stuff. But if just you're having general bloating and whatnot, I think a good place to start is to look at how much whole plant foods you're eating and try to kind of isolate the more common fart causers and replace them with non-fart causers. This is scientific wording. So yeah, that one was kind of boring. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of boring. I don't know. I've got another one here. What I eat in a day on a mostly raw, low-fat vegan diet. I think I did one of these. I think I did an earlier one where I was still 100% raw, but this is mostly raw. So yeah, I thought that'd be interesting to check out. It might be okay. I think I was still eating, oh yeah, well duh, it says mostly raw, low fat. So yes, I was still eating low fat. So yeah, maybe that'll be a good one. I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know if I'm going to upload this. This might be too boring. If I do, I hope you enjoyed this. Subscribe, support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan, onlyfans.com/unnaturalvegan for more content. I upload just little random videos over there talking about whatever I want to talk about. teespring.com/stores/unnatural-vegan, I think is what it is. I think that's right. Yeah, I got some t-shirts there. Look at me branching out, diversifying. Wow. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will have a new video hopefully soon. This is peak mom. This hair. Oh, I just need this hair and that shirt. That new shirt I got, the thread up shirt. Oh my God, that's peak mom. Peak mom.